Hello, all you beautiful people. All
Hi.
right.
And
It's
welcome back.
Yeah. Sorry it's been a while. Last episode took me a while to edit, and then also we were going to record last week, but then one of us couldn't make it, and then I got sick.
you got a really bad tummy ache. Yeah, I don't mean to belittle it. It sounds like, oh, you got a tummy ache.
No,
You know, but
that was not a fun night, my friend. I took a
I
bunch.
bet.
I drank a bunch of Pepto Bismol and ended up like throwing up like 7 times in the middle of the night. Yeah, that was not fun.
Oh, that's
I
no.
hope you guys aren't scrolling through YouTube while eating and listening to podcasts. So
Yeah.
hopefully the rest of our podcast excursion tonight will be vomit free.
So there was your warning.
hmm
That's the only thing you get. All right.
So we have a number of cool topics for you tonight, Ben.
Oh,
Yes.
also, we're missing a person tonight.
Yes, we are missing Zack. Our
Yep.
he's
Yes,
he's
we
on
are.
he's on a adventure. He's trying to
Yeah, I texted him
in
earlier, and I haven't.
he said
Is
I'm too busy engaging with social media. I am a Mossad agent, and I am trying to stoke a online war of attrition. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I texted him like earlier, and he hasn't answered me. So I'm assuming he's busy doing his own thing. So
Oh, didn't he get like a car?
yes, he did.
yeah,
Oh, so that might be the thing he's
Yes,
doing.
he might not
Car
have.
yes,
things.
Yeah, car things. All right.
yes.
So, but we shall press forward. Us
Wonder if it's
few.
used or new. Get that smell. Anyway.
Mm,
So we have a new movie to talk about. Uh,
yeah.
kind
Well,
of new.
I mean, it's still what, second, third week runtime.
Third, yeah.
Third. Yeah, I mean, it's still relatively new. So both Alex and I have seen Deadpool and the Wolverine twice.
Yes.
Um,
I
I
haven't seen it at all, so you two can discuss amongst the both of you while
yeah.
I sit it out.
Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
encourage you to chime in if you can. I know you've seen the first one and parts of two. Um,
Thank you, cable TV.
yeah.
Your
What I
parents
was
have always have to have something on in the living room at all times. It's like Deadpool 2, it's Pitch Perfect. It's
oh yeah.
Oh no, you live in one of those households where the TV's always on.
well, not always on, but
It's on a lot.
it's on a lot, and they're watching stuff. It's always like it's stuff like that. It's great British
Great
Great
British Bake
British
Off.
Bake Off. It's something on Netflix. I don't know, Mr. Right. I've seen a couple times on there. Uh, oh, I got sick to death of what's that fucking? Oh, I'm getting off topic. You guys need to talk about Deadpool.
But no, wait,
Okay.
I thought it was Pitch Perfect that you got sick of.
I did, but there was the other one. What's that freaking rock musical where there's
Rock of
like
Ages?
80s Rock of Ages. Yeah, I got sick to death of them.
Oh, that movie
Watching
looks
that all the
horrible.
time.
So I don't.
I tried watching it and I'm just like, I like all these songs, but I would rather hear them be performed by the artists, not these
Yeah.
Right.
not these theater performers.
Yeah. I mean, the only cool part was Tom Cruise in it. I could care less about anything else that happens in the movie.
Cruise just improves everything he's in.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But back on topic.
Yep. So,
Don't mind me.
Deadpool and the Wolverine is the third movie in the Deadpool trilogy, and It's obviously a epic conclusion to Deadpool, but also surprisingly a lot of love given to other Fox superhero branch.
Yeah,
franchise.
Deadpool and Wolverine is a 2024 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics, featuring characters Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm not copying this off of Wikipedia.
Um, anyway, so yeah, I really liked this one. I think if I were to rank them, all three of the Deadpool movies, this one would be right in the middle between 2 and 1.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think two is still my favorite. I think it's the best one of the trilogy. But this one is pretty good. Um, it's fun. It was really fun seeing Hugh Jackman as Wolverine again.
Yes, it
And
was.
I don't know about you, but for a while, like the first 40 minutes when Deadpool does most of the talking, I was getting worried. I'm like, oh no, is this just gonna be like a Deadpool movie and then Wolverine just like is there? Like, is this just gonna
Oh
be
yeah.
because I was getting kind of I was getting a little tired, not irritated, but just tired of hearing Deadpool
Yeah.
be the only one to talk in the beginning. It was getting kind of old. So thank God Hugh Jackman he,
Came in.
he finally came in. So I was like, oh, thank God. And like I said, there's a lot of X-Men references in this movie, but also surprisingly some cameos from some other Fox Marvel movies that I was not
Yeah.
expecting,
So we
like
got Jennifer
Blade,
Garner, Elektra.
yeah, Elektra. We got Wesley Snipes as Blade.
Yep. Channing Tatum as Gambit and Chris
Yep.
Evans as Johnny Storm.
Yeah, that was okay. That was a fun bait and switch with the Chris Evans. I thought Cassandra Nova was a fun villain.
Yeah.
She wasn't in it that much. Like, I kind of wish she was in it a little bit more. But she was fun when she was on the screen.
Same thing with Paradox.
I mean, yeah, he didn't really feel like the villain. He just felt like I don't know. I don't know if you have it. There's not really a name for the kind of character where like Newman's character in Jurassic Park.
Seinfeld.
No,
Oh,
Jurassic Park. I say new. It's Wayne Knight, but everybody knows him
yeah.
as
No,
Newman.
I got you.
Yeah, like his character's not like I'd say the main villain of Jurassic Park, but he's still a bad guy. I just
Yeah.
don't. I just don't know. We just don't have like a label for that kind of character. But anyway,
Yeah. No, that's basically what
Paradox is
Paradox is.
Paradox is the Dennis Nedry of the the Deadpool movie.
Yeah. No, that's a
Um,
good way to put it.
hmm
Um. So I saw this movie with Zack the first time, and he and I were laughing at all the references that were made, and one of them was when Ryan Reynolds referenced the Will Smith slap.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what's funny? The first time I saw it with friends at the Down showcase,
yeah.
and we were actually 5 minutes late, so we missed that whole opening title sequence.
Oh, with the
So
NSYNC song.
yeah, so I got so I didn't really get like the context of the him fighting the TVA guards in like the later section of the movie.
Oh, okay.
So then when I watched it again with my dad, then it's like, oh, okay, now this makes more sense. Now I have some
Yeah,
context.
exactly.
Anyway, what do you think? What do you think of Hugh Jackman pulling out the Wolverine's iconic cowl mask?
Oh, I thought that was great. The theater that I was in, it didn't go super crazy, but I thought it was a cool thing.
It's a cool
I
thing.
like that
Sorry.
he was roasting his costume throughout most of the movie, right? And then when the mask came on, it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I thought it was cool the first time I saw it, but then when I watched the movie again, I'm like, you know what? Okay, I think the cowl, I think the cowling does kind of look stupid. Like,
Oh yeah.
I ca-
The other thing was the fight scenes. I thought between Deadpool and Wolverine were cool,
oh,
especially the one in the Odyssey
that
where
one, yeah,
it's playing that song from Greece.
I think that one was my favorite fight between them.
And it starts with a song from another Hugh Jackman movie, The Greatest Showman.
Oh, it did? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, no, it's really quick, so it is easy to miss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I remember when I saw the track listing for the soundtrack for the movie, and I said, "Oh, this is Evil Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack." That was my first. That was the first thing I said.
Well, but like when you saw that song from Greece was on the list, and
And bye bye bye.
oh yeah,
I'm gonna tell you this: all the ushers are wicked annoyed of the song right now.
no, I wouldn't. I would hate it too if I worked in a movie theater. Honestly,
Yeah. Also, we had to get up wicked early for the early showings of this movie.
what the first weekend?
Yeah. Fuck you, Sean Levy. You are not seeing Allah.
Wait, like what time is the first show? Let me guess, like 9 in the morning.
Well, no, but we had to get there at 9 in the morning. It was probably like 10.
Ah, jeez.
oh, boo-hoo, you gotta get up in the middle of the morning. Oh, poor baby.
Some of us are there until midnight, and then have to
Oh,
get in the next day. So
fair enough.
Um, I I kind of like the jokes in the second half of the movie more than.
Yeah, because they weren't references to other things the whole time.
I don't mind the references, but he was like leaning way too hard on it in the first
Yeah,
half.
no, he was.
Also, the opening title sequence was fun. But
I like the one in I like the one in Deadpool 2 the best.
no, I still think the first one is the best with the slow the the freeze frame pan around of the scene while they play Angel of the Morning. I still
Oh
think
yeah,
that's still my favorite. And then it
for
had all
me,
the goofy credits.
well, Deadpool 2 did also, but it was parodying James Bond at the same time.
Yeah, I think I like the first one because it felt uh, unique. Like it wasn't making fun of another movie's title sequence. It was
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're
it
saying.
just had its own fun, creative way of doing a title sequence, and I like that a lot. Um, Deadpool 2's is probably like my least favorite title sequence.
I think for me it's just because I like the song that was playing during it.
Oh,
But yeah, no, I can see why like people get annoyed by that song and this new one. But it is funny seeing him dance to it while killing people, so...
Yeah. I liked the use of the Madonna song, although I do feel like they leaned into it too much towards the end. It's like, alright, we get it. We really need more Madonna in this moment.
What song was it again? Do you remember the
Life
name of it?
is it called Life is a Mystery? Is that the title?
Let me look. But I think I know what
Or
song
no,
you're
is it
talking.
no, it's When You Call My Name.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
that one. I feel like that one was overplayed.
Yeah, like it was fine for the Deadpool fight with all the Deadpools, but like when they do the thing to stop the MacGuffin, then it was like it was getting a little old. It's like, all right, enough of the Madonna song.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the other thing, I don't know if this annoys you, but like it has an opening scene, and then it'll like do a flashback, and then it'll come back to that scene that we saw in the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't care for the flashback stuff. Also,
Yeah, 'cause it's like you should have started with it.
I didn't like where the movie started because, like, why do you have to have Deadpool at this? Why does Deadpool have to start at a low point in his life?
That's what I'm saying. Like it
Like
just
the
felt
whole
weird.
the whole point of the movie is that he's trying to save his universe from non-existence. If you had him start off at a really great point in his life, it would give the character all the more reason to try to save his universe. And I don't see why I had to put him down in a low spot. Um, it was kind of funny which characters they chose to bring back for cameos and which did not. Cable and Domino weren't in this film at all.
That's right, they
Nor
weren't.
nor anybody really from X-Force, except for what was his name, Shatterstar, the guy who got ground up in the helicopter routers in the second movie. For some reason he's back and he's still alive.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and then they brought back Peter, which which I was
Oh
actually
yeah,
I actually liked what they did with Peter in the film.
yeah. No, that was funny.
They brought back Al. Of course, they have to bring back Al, or Blind Al, as he calls her.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. Just trying to think if I have anything else to say. Um, Soundtrack slapped.
yes, it did.
Um, I might be my favorite of the Deadpool soundtracks. Might be this one.
I gotta listen to the whole thing, but based on what I heard in the movie, I will agree with that.
Mm-hmm. And also, I kind of liked how this movie, it's the conclusion to Deadpool. It's the conclusion to the X-Men franchise. But I also felt like, in a little way, it was kind of like a final farewell to like Fox itself, in a weird way.
Yeah,
And I kind of enjoyed that aspect. And I kind of like that they just showed clips of bloopers from all the movies, mainly the X-Men movies.
oh yeah,
So,
kind of like this tribute, kind of.
yeah. And I'm impressed that Disney let this movie be made, considering how many jokes there are made about Disney in this movie.
I know about how like a lot of things are new for Disney. And
Yeah.
that Hugh Jackman was going to be doing this shit till he was 90.
That was funny.
And what else was there? Oh, there was Blake Lively as Lady Deadpool and Matthew McConaughey as Cowboy Pool.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, when you like listen to the voice during that, you'll know it's Matthew McConaughey. And the Lady Pool one, I actually didn't know it was Blake Lively until I saw the credits. So
Damn. Now I'm gonna have to pay attention next time I see the movie.
and she has a movie out right now too, and she's competing with her husband.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah.
I was glad that they were able to give Wolverine some of the spotlight too. You know, his
Yes.
character had a pretty nice arc. In fact, his character I'd say was the only character with an arc. I don't think Deadpool
Yeah,
really
no,
had.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean Deadpool's already had enough of arcs in his own movies, like especially number 2. So I think it was nice to give that, let another character like Wolverine have one.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then just a side note, I loved Dogpool. That
Oh yeah, that was funny.
I love Dogpool. You know that's Britain's ugliest dog competition winner, right?
Yeah, I remember Ryan Reynolds saying that when he was promoting the movie.
Yeah, the dog's name in real life is Peggy, and she's won the ugliest dog competition in Great Britain.
Oh yeah, because of the tongue that sticks out of her mouth.
So Dogpool is great. I loved Dogpool. So yeah.
Cool.
Also, it was kind of funny to see like the wasteland mutants riding around in suspiciously looking Mad Max vehicles.
He even says it. It looks Mad Maxy.
He's like, huh? Looks like this might involve some copyright infringement. All right. I think I've said everything I've had to say about Deadpool and the Wolverine.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, one more thing. This is not about the movie, but one funny thing is when me and my dad went to go see it in the showcase, our local showcase in Hanover.
Yeah.
I bought the tickets for X Plus unknowingly because I just wanted the showtime, which was 4:00.
Yeah.
So as an added bonus for getting tickets to X Plus, they gave us each the signature heart-shaped Deadpool and Wolverine necklace charms that you've seen featured in the posters for this movie.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So both me and my dad got those necklaces.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, yeah, I have them hanging up on my room right now. My dad's been wearing them like the past week.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything
Matt,
you want to add, Matt, before we move on?
This lasagna is hot. Sorry, I got food.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought he was going to say fuck Michael Mouse.
Oh yeah, did you hear about that? Let's take a little break. So, apparently someone went to Disney. I forget if it was Disney World, Disneyland, or whatever. I'm just going off of what I remember. But she went there. She asked, "Oh, I have this allergy. Is this thing that I'm going to eat? will
Oh,
this
it was
trigger my
Disney
allergy?
World.
Disney World. Thank you.
Yeah.
And she asked, "Oh, will this trigger my allergy?" They said no. She ate it. She died.
Oh,
Her husband
Yeah, but it gets more interesting.
wait, what
is
was the allergen?
I don't know. It didn't say when I heard the story.
So anyway, the husband sues. What was it? The
Sues
restaurant?
it could just be the at least the theme park maybe. I don't know.
It was Disney Springs.
But he's suing specifically.
So
And
yeah, I think was it the restaurant or Disney though he was suing? That's what I was confused by.
probably the theme park itself.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Because
yeah,
this
anyway.
is technically malpractice if she's because she died from the specific allergen, the allergy that she had. So, but apparently, they are countering that by saying, "Oh, you had signed up for the free
Disney Plus
subscription of Disney Plus, meaning that you are not liable for anything that were to happen to you at the theme park."
But
What?
but that has nothing to do with that. That doesn't
Wait,
make any sense.
Wait, what? Wait, whoa.
I know.
Back
I'm
up.
like so confused. Yeah.
Because he signed up for a free subscription of Disney Plus.
Yeah,
That
That's
makes
what they're
because
saying. Yes.
because this married couple subscribed to a free subscription to the Disney Plus. Well, the free subscription that you would have to later pay for. You know how that is, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Oh no, they're getting to me. I'm trying to speak the truth.
So anyway, yeah. No, they were saying he can't sue them, right?
Because they're free members of Disney Plus. What?
Not free members. They did the free subscription that they later paid for.
Right. But still,
But signing up means that they signed up to the agreement. I wouldn't think the agreement has if you ever died in the park after signing up to Disney Plus, that means that any wrongful doing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they're trying to get a wrongful death lawsuit tossed out of court because he signed up for Disney Plus years earlier.
what?
His wife. I'm reading a tweet. His wife
What?
suffered a fatal allergic reaction at a Disney Springs restaurant, but Disney insists that the husband agreed to arbitrate all disputes with the studio when he first signed up for a free month's trial of Disney Plus.
I would really like to see how that holds up in a court of law.
I don't think it'll hold up, but the fact that they're trying that is really like they are the worst ever. Like they're the worst people ever.
But then you tweeted the other day, it's time to exterminate this fucking rat, Michael Mouse.
Michael
Yes,
Mouse.
it is. Yes, Mike. It's not Mickey. This Michael
It's
Mouse ain't no
Michael.
friend of mine.
But yeah, no. Basically, it makes no sense. The lawsuit, like he should be suing the restaurant, and then they were trying to say because this restaurant's not owned by Disney, but like it's in your park. What are you talking about?
Bullshit. This is the one thing you're saying. Oh, we don't own that. You fucking own everything, bitch.
Yeah, I know. You own the Oscars, you fucking cunts.
Well, no, they own the TV station that it airs on. That's what they have.
That's what he's getting at. I think that's the joke.
Oh, okay. So if Pepsi bought the NFL, the entire NFL organization tomorrow,
Mhm.
and I said, "Oh, Pepsi owns the Super Bowl," you're gonna be like, "No, he doesn't. He only owns the NFL."
But yeah, fuck that. Fuck Disney.
Yeah,
for
so
that.
everyone I know has been roasting them for this.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I've heard nothing but bad things about the food at Disney anyway. So just don't even bother eating at Disney.
It's not just that; it's that it's really expensive too.
It's expensive, and I hear because they're literally afraid of lawsuits over food, that they'll like turbo cook everything, so everything is like extra overdone. Wait, Alex, did you eat anything when you went to Disney? Like at the park?
Oh yeah, no, I ate at the parks like every day.
What was it like? Was it
It was edible, but let me tell you one thing I bought.
okay?
So I was in Epcot, and there was German pretzels, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The German pretzel was probably the worst fucking thing I've ever ate.
Ooh.
Oh,
For one, it was $13.
for a pretzel?
What?
That's
Holy,
what, that's what I'm saying. Oh, and there was no fucking salt on it either. So it was like
It's just a
dry.
plain pretzel?
Yeah, it was fucking dry as hell.
wait, how big was it?
It was pretty fucking big.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Well,
Well, actually, no. It was like medium size.
what is it then?
It was like medium. It was like big, but it wasn't huge. I was like, "Can I use a snack credit on this?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "I'm not paying fucking $13 for this." I was like, "So charge it to my room," and that's what they did.
Which means you're paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, my mom paid for it when I said
Oh,
charge.
you-
Oh, okay. No, that's
Oh,
different.
you little bitch! You made your mom pay for your pretzel. you're
Well, no,
you're
she
like
ate it.
I will. You're like you.
No, she ate it
For the-
too. She said it sucked balls. No, not
Oh,
balls.
okay. You
She said it
shared
was
it. Okay.
yeah. So she said it was terrible too, and then we were like, yeah, when we come back to Epcot, we're not buying a pretzel.
What? So what was bad about it? Like, can you describe the pretzel to us?
So like,
it stale and
so
hard?
yeah, it was stale.
Oh, was it even warm, or was it just like cold?
It was like lukewarm.
Oh no.
So basically, it's like it was probably sitting in that fucking thing that spins the pretzels all day.
Yeah.
So
And to be fair, it's like when you're dealing with the Florida climate. I mean, any bread product is going to have an uphill battle as far as durability goes. I mean, it's so fucking humid down there.
that is true.
Uh,
But yeah, I just wanted to share that. I mean, the rest of the food I ate at the park was it was fine. Not the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. Oh, but the breakfast at the Disney hotel was terrible. Like the eggs were like I don't know. The eggs weren't good.
was it like was it those like really shitty like powder eggs they make?
Yes,
Oh, those are gross, dude. Ugh.
they are. But yeah, but I'm not gonna go ahead and sue Disney because I got ripped off for buying a pretzel.
Well, yeah, you did. Well, yeah, you didn't die or get like some infectious disease from the pretzel.
I mean, I'll sue Disney because they ripped me off because they charged me $13 for a stale ass pretzel.
I mean, that's on you, buddy. If you want to spend the money, $13 on a pretzel,
Okay, to be fair, I didn't know it was gonna be that much.
they didn't have a price for the upfront for the pretzel.
I didn't see it till after.
Oh, well, that's on you. That's all you.
Yeah, it's on me. Yep.
But I'm sure there's some. I'm sure there's somebody out there that would be willing to sue Disney over a $13 pretzel.
And
Absolutely.
it's just not me.
Yeah, just don't be that guy.
uh, so yes, we're gonna talk about cult films.
Cult classics. So I have this article from Medium. What constitutes a cult film? From Simon Dillon. I might have that wrong. Dillon. So he writes, my Facebook feed recently regurgitated. I can't talk.
Regurgitated?
I can't talk today. I can't talk today. Fuck. Fuck.
Oh no,
Fuck
it's the
that. I'm heading out. I'm leaving. Bye.
oh no,
No.
it's the lasagna.
The lagnas is getting to me.
It's been poisoned.
I'm sweating like crazy over here. Mom's spaghetti. It's ready. Ah. Oh God. Okay. Starting over. We'll do it live. Fuck it. My Facebook feed recently regurgitated.
You did it again.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, I just can't speak English. My Facebook feed recently regurgitated an old Vogue article wherein editors listed their favorite, quote, cult films of the 1990s. Their choices often surprised me, as they included smash hits like The Matrix and Titanic.
Titanic's a cult film?
No. Surely huge blockbusters do not constitute cult films. Then again, what exactly is the definition of a cult film?
All right.
This old question frequently causes confusion. It is a can of worms I have occasionally peered inside, but before hurriedly replacing on the shelf after another futile examination of its writhing contents. Okay. The most common definition of a cult film is one that didn't do well during the original release, but subsequently built up a significant following.
So, not the Titanic or the Matrix.
Not the Titanic or the Matrix. So, I don't know what these Vogue article writers were thinking, but we could criticize that later on. In that respect, cult status is something that only the audience can bestow. An ideal candidate needn't have been a total failure, but at best, it can only have been a modest success. Initially, critical indifference or hostility is also a good qualification, although not always essential. It is worth noting that cult films can vary widely in quality. I cannot talk tonight. It's driving me crazy. The writer says in this article, I'm never going to regard Showgirls as anything but a blip in Paul Verhoeven's otherwise interesting career. Still, there are a surprising number of people who would take issue with me, even if because they find it an outrageously entertaining guilty pleasure. Certain cult films have a cult around them precisely because they are so objectively bad, with Alex, The Room,
Yeah.
being the ultimate case in point. Maybe one day in the far future, if we talk about The Room again, I can mention my article that I wrote in college, where I talk about the phenomenon of the so bad it's good film. I talk about the way audiences react to certain films and how that might differ from the way that the original writer wanted the film to be perceived. The difference between the failure of the hypodermic needle model theory and stuff like that. Some
Right, because
college stuff that I wrote. Media bullshit.
Yeah, lots of big words and fancy phrasing. Yes,
Encoding, decoding, stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you want to read that, I have that article that I wrote on my letterbox as the review for The Room. There we go.
We haven't talked about The Room enough.
I like that article, man. I like that writing. Another qualification worth making into a cult film are not necessarily cult films in their own country of origin. For example, the anime Your Name was a box office smash in Japan, but in the UK and US, it occupies more of a cult corner in the affections of filmgoers, as does most anime in general, at least in the States.
I mean,
with the exception of like Miyazaki, which is always popular, yes.
Yeah, but I feel like anime by and large is becoming more mainstream.
So
But
it's
like
recent.
if you go to like a Walmart, you'll see like an anime section in Walmart now. Like it's not great, but like they have stuff from animes. So I don't think anime is that niche anymore, or liking anime is that niche anymore.
That's fair enough.
Dude, my public library has a manga section now.
Oh yeah, that's right. You mentioned that.
I just feel like I have to throw that in there. Like my
Okay, so yeah. So the writer continues, several of my favorite underrated films do not qualify for cult status because they do not have a cult following of any kind, as far as I'm aware. For instance, I frequently sing the praises of Brian De Palma's underseen Carlito's Way. I haven't seen it yet, so I need to. I can't confirm.
okay.
But the writer would quote never refer to it as a cult film. Um, Now we'll go back to the Vogue. We're going back to the Vogue article where it includes the likes of Bernardo Bertolucci's Stealing Beauty and Alfonso Cuarón's take on The Great Expectations. You can make an argument that these are certainly underrated films, but neither film can acquire cult status simply through excited scholarly critiques. The audience must be broader, whether it be the blues music comedic car chases of the Blues Brothers, the sexual subversion of Rocky Horror Picture Show, the tragic comedy with Nail and Eye, or grotesque extremes of Pink Flamingos, or the satirical musical mirth of This Is Spinal Tap. Cult films must transcend the circles of the cineast. Their audience must watch them again and again for sheer pleasure, not for academic analysis. Cult film viewers must not consider themselves as film buffs, but they will feel as though they have discovered a diamond in a pile of quartz. They will feel part of an exclusive club or subculture and wear their fandom on their sleeves like badges of pride and identity. Certain films can strike a deep chord, inspiring dressing up and or sing-along screenings. Rocky Horror being the most obvious case in point. I have to say that Rocky Horror is probably one of the definitive uh, cult classics, at least in this category of audience participation.
Man, I can't wait for Sorry to Bother You to become a cult classic, and then they have a bunch of people dress up in horse costumes going to the.
Ideally, a cult film should sit outside the mainstream, or at the very least, the periphery. If I were to draw up, now the writer writes a bunch of cult films from the 90s, they would consider Grosse Point Blank, Clueless, The Crow, Clerks, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, Tremors, Slacker, Delicatessen, Film Viewers Film Event Horizon, Dark City, Brain Dead, Office Space, Hard Boiled. They sit slightly outside the mainstream, at least when they were released. Didn't get huge critical praise in its time, but have over time grown more and more praise for what they were and what they are. Films that are major awards contenders typically don't qualify. Uh, but we can make the case otherwise. We're going to make the case otherwise.
Okay.
The Shawshank Redemption, for instance, was a mainstream release, nominated for Oscars, including Best Picture, and received great notices. Big box office flop.
Damn.
Yeah.
But is it really a cult film? Arguably, the audience rediscovery of it on VHS and home media may have initially granted it its cult status. But it has generated such a tsunami of mainstream popular admiration in its time that it's transcended the boundaries of that definition. For Christ, it's for the last decade and a half, it's been at the very top of IMDb's top 250.
Oh yeah. Wait, number one, right? You said
Number one. Number one.
yeah.
The only other film I can think of that has been at the top is The Godfather.
I think
That
that's number
I can recall.
2.
Yeah,
But,
I think it used to be number 1, and then it was Shawshank.
yeah, carrying on.
I might be proven wrong, but other way. No film regularly tops viewer polls of the greatest films of the 90s that can be considered a cult classic, in my view. A cult films should be divisive, like Marmite. I like how that.
Wait,
I like how that author film puts it.
wait, Marmite the spread, the
Yeah.
English the English preservative
Yeah.
spread.
Yeah.
He's comparing cult movies to Marmite.
I think it's funny.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's funny too. It's just such a weird comparison to pull out of your hat there.
I know.
The Shawshank Redemption wasn't really cult material to start with. I mean, it's based off a Stephen King short story. And it might have enjoyed that status for a short time, but it has long since outgrown it. So we have the possibility of a cult classic outgrowing the title of cult classic or a cult film.
And just becomes regular classic.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Here we have an argument for something that's very similar. We have stone cold classics like It's a Wonderful Life and The Wizard of Oz, which were initially considered cult films. They, like The Shawshank Redemption, were Best Picture nominated. But I know The Wizard of Oz didn't make a profit after some years. But both got really popular through regular television screenings and weren't considered classics like their contemporaries were back in the 30s and 40s until the 1970s. Like The Wizard of Oz is obviously it's a kid-friendly musical that can easily be shown on screen, and It's a Wonderful Life was in the 60s and 70s was in the public domain, and since it has that Christmas appeal, it could be shown during the Christmas time without having to pay royalties.
Well, yeah, that's what it's famous for, is being a Christmas film that people watch during the holiday season because they know it'll be on television.
Yeah, and it was only on TV because, it was cheap. By contrast, both versions of Little Shop of Horrors actually did decent business on initial release and are both now considered cult classics. That rather challenges the notion that a cult film should perform poorly during its original run.
Oh, wait, there's a second version of Little Shop of Horror?
Well, there was one from the 60s, the original one, and there was one in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot that one from the 60s.
The one from the late Roger Corman.
Okay, I'm only familiar with the one from the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Now we'll talk about Clockwork Orange. It's a huge success upon release. It played in cinema for months on end. Ordinarily, this alone would disqualify it for cult status. I mean, it's the second X-rated film to be nominated for Best Picture. It's not X-rated anymore, but now there is the other one, which was Midnight Cowboy.
Oh, that's right.
Film ratings are fun. I should talk about that another day. But anyway. However, the notorious controversy around the film, the ultra-violence that the film portrays, effectively led to Kubrick having it banned in the UK and remaining that for at least the rest of his lifetime. Made it a sort of near mythical, revered cult masterpiece over the 2 decades in which it was banned.
I don't remember it being that excessively violent. At least not.
Yeah, I don't
either. Well, at least not now. At least.
But, right.
I think there was someone who said that they murdered someone and said they were inspired by Clockwork Orange or something like that, and it was a huge thing. And then Kubrick said, "We'll ban the film." So we also have another thing, controversial status that is placed upon the film, whether by something that's in the film thematically or something that surrounds the film, like a big controversial boon around the release.
Okay.
As a budding film
Oh,
enthusiast,
like that dumb Seth Rogen comedy, The Interview.
mm, if
I
the
don't know.
interview were to be considered a cult classic, which I don't know if it is,
I
it
don't
could be.
know if it is.
That
No,
would
but
be an
no, but I'm
example.
no, but I'm saying that's an example of a movie
Yeah,
that had like a boon
Oh,
against it,
okay.
and like the from the very beginning, because it, you know, North Korea is threatening to nuke us over that stupid film. It's like,
God, that would be such an awful alternate reality, wouldn't it? It'd be so stupid.
they nuke Los Angeles because of the film, and then we go to war with China and North Korea because of fucking the dumb Seth Rogen movie, The Interview. It's not even that funny of a movie. It
It
was
was fine, yeah.
it was just okay. I liked Team America more, and that did a
It's
better
not.
job of making fun of North Korea too.
Man, if like that actually turned into like some hot conflict, it would have been like The Creator, you know, that movie from last year, but
Oh yeah.
instead of like all the sci-fi elements, it's The Creator if it existed in the Idiocracy universe.
Oh yeah, that movie.
Little off topic, but
That's okay.
okay. All right. This author says, I grew up with an insatiable curiosity about film, and as soon as I was old enough, I picked up a VHS copy of Amsterdam, from Amsterdam, to see of Clockwork Orange to see what the fuss was all about. Shortly after Kubrick died, the film was re-released and is now more widely available in the UK once more. These days, it's typically considered a classic film rather than a cult film. And now the writer says, which brings me to Blade Runner. Uh,
Uh
in, in some ways, this is the ultimate example of a film outgrowing cult status. It opened in a damaged good cut to indifferent and hostile reviews and bombed at the box office. Nonetheless, the masterpiece beneath the stiff voiceover and voiced happy ending, stitched together with outtakes from The Shining. That's a fun fact.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the original cut of the film, which has a more happy ending.
Well, that they
Uh,
just it just says that scene where they're driving away.
it's the scene where they're driving away. That's actually outtakes from The Shining. You know, the opening of The Shining,
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
you mean the
where
green screen?
where they're driving the car to the
Okay,
hotel.
okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That-
Okay, so like I was saying, outtakes from The Shining shone through, and the film gradually garnered a huge following during the 1980s VHS revolution. At the time, it is considered a major cult film. However, I ceased to think of it as a cult film in the early 90s when it had a major critical reevaluation and a re release in Ridley Scott's intended original version, minus voiceover and silly happy ending.
I
Since
mean,
then, oh,
um,
what were you saying?
I was gonna ask you a quick question.
Yeah,
Didn't the movie Brazil suffer the same problem where
so yeah,
they had to like add like or alter the ending of Brazil to make it happier or appealing to more broader audience, and then
yes.
that just tanked it.
I know that there is a version that has a happy ending. I'm not sure
I think it was made
which
for like
version was the released version.
I think it was like intended for like American audiences, the happier version.
Hmm.
I think it might not be like any additions. I think it might just be like they cut the movie when he like goes into the when him and his love interest go in the cabin right before right before the actual ending.
Right.
It's like a big and they lived happily ever after, and nothing else happens. There's nothing
Believe
else.
me, believe me. I own that version. I'm gonna have to. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The what is it called? The Love Conquers All edit or something or other.
There's all.
Yeah. It's 94 minutes, whereas the official version is 142. So that's a lot. That's a lot just cut out of the film. That's a big cut. You can see why Terry Gilliam was mad.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So since then, Blade Runner has become critically revered as one of the greatest sci-fi films ever made, frequently topping polls. Yada yada yada. Again, as with The Shawshank Redemption, when a film reaches that public space in the that space in public and critical consciousness, it's not considered a cult film anymore. It's considered a classic. Now, still, whichever way you want to argue definitions of cult films, one thing is certain. Big blockbuster successes do not count. Titanic was the highest grossing film of all time. It won a truckload of Oscars, including Best Picture. There's nothing remotely cult about it. The appeal of the film couldn't be more broader or more mainstream. Titanic is absolutely and emphatically not a cult film. He basically ends the article by saying, "Fuck you, Vogue. What the fuck are you talking about? This isn't a fucking cult film. You fucking idiots." But anyway, so he kind of like gestures at what a cult film or cult classic is defined as. I went and I found a article from Kyle Guzman from Studio Binder, but even that I don't think is fully enough to kind of define what a cult classic is. So I'm going to add a few of my own elements from reading this article and tell you what I think it is, because it kind of like is two separate kind of forms of the definition, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
There's like what's in the movie diegetically and what is around the film. If you get what I mean.
I got
like
you.
like
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
like the sort of way in which is we perceive the film and what's actually in the film. So there's subversive themes. So a cult classic can be defined as a film that has subversive themes and unconventional storytelling, unique aesthetic and style, iconic characters and memorable dialogue. All right, and on the outside, an initial poor release, a box office bomb, or an acclaimed film that has fallen off to brief obscurity. Poorly reviewed or controversial / banned films that finds its audience and or is reevaluated later. Passionate fan engagement, and a film that has popularity is based on its viewing form, on whether or not it's viewed in on TV through TV viewings, through VHS or other home media, or on the internet in the age of social media. So some cult classics can go through. Also, some cult classics can go through a full-on apotheosis to being a full-blown classic, similar to the more successful films that were released in its time.
Okay.
And I also looked at what Wikipedia described as like cult classics. I came across the term cult blockbuster. Titanic is definitely not that.
No.
It has some
Yes.
some of my favorite films. Like I'll name a couple, like
My
Night of the
favorite
Hunter.
My favorite cult classic, Avengers: Infinity War.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so we had. I looked through the Wikipedia article of cult films. I found some listed films. So, Night of the Hunter, which is one of my favorite films. Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I feel like is a film that kind of radiates the idea of like a cult film, just on the basis, like I said, of the fan participation. They'll like
I feel like
do
that
things like
one.
throwing rice at the screen and stuff like that.
I feel like that one's gonna become like a classic eventually because it's garnered such a reputation as being the cult movie that I
Mhm.
feel like like as the years go on, it's just gonna get like become more and more recognizable.
You have the
Right.
So Bad It's Good films. You got Showgirls, The Room. You got Birdemic. You got my favorite Ugandan film, Who Killed Captain Alex.
Oh, dude, I want to see that so bad.
Oh, it's so good. You have a propaganda film like Reefer Madness. Um, oh yeah, I didn't mention Wizard of Oz's thing had to do with Judy Garland's popularity with the queer community, specifically with gay men.
I mean, I knew it was a popular movie in the gay community.
Yes. If you've
So
seen the movie Paris is Burning, the scene at the end of the film is a drag queen lip singing to Patti LaBelle's version of Over the Rainbow.
isn't that kind of how the rainbow got adopted as the symbol for the LGBT community? Is because there was like a code back in the day when they said they go over the rainbow.
They're over the
Yeah,
rainbow.
they're over the rainbow.
Oh yeah.
I'd have to look into it, but it's that'd be very interesting
No,
if
it
it were
would
the
be.
case.
If that was like the the origin of the LGBT rainbow flag.
Yeah, check out just the Wikipedia entry for. You'll be surprised at all the films that we see as classics now. Classics or great movies now that didn't have that initial status before. Big Lebowski has a big thing around it.
Oh yeah, that's big cult
Yes, it
one.
does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
Surprisingly, Mad Max, when it was released,
I
wasn't
was think,
big
I,
in the United States. It
yeah,
was big
dude,
everywhere else
I
except
was
the
wondering about
U.S.
Mad Max. Yeah, I had a feeling Mad Max was a cult movie. Not
Oh, the
anymore.
Mel
Um,
Gibson one. That's right.
Christmas classic like "It's a Wonderful Life," Miracle on 34th Street, the original one. Um, Korean films like Battle Royale and Old Boy. You had the series of Video Nasties, which is a nice moniker that they gave to films across the pond that were controversial or nearly banned. Films like Cannibal Holocaust and other of the Italian horror films, like from was the director's name? Rogerio Rodato,
Oh yeah.
where they're like, it's a snuff film, you know.
But it's an artful snuff film.
Uh, the article mentioned Pink Flamingo, so like the works of John Waters are included. The Roger Ebert written film. I can't talk today. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. The Roger Ebert written film Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Another example. Films that really hinder on idea of nostalgia. Films like Grease, Roadhouse, Scott Pilgrim, Donnie Darko. B films like Galaxy Quest.
Wait, Galaxy Quest is considered cultish?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, I didn't see it till recently, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
and then there's animated films like Fantastic Planet or the works of Ralph Bakshi with like Fritz the Cat, or like
Wizards?
something Wizards, or like a film like Heavy Metal. Midnight movies like Warriors, Office Space, or any film by Alejandro Jodorowsky, like El Topo, or The
And
Holy
the Holy
Mountain.
Mountain. The Holy Mountain, baby.
We remember Holy Mountain, don't we? Don't we,
Oh yeah.
folks?
Well, I haven't seen it, but I know it based on
I showed
conversations we've had with these guys.
I showed it to my dad.
You what now?
Yeah, I showed it to my dad.
Like the whole film?
Yes, the whole film.
Wow. See, like that was weird.
Yeah, but that's why I showed it to him. It's like I like weird shit, and so does he.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then also, I would say Nosferatu was also an example, which I might either cover in October or before the release of Robert Eggers' film for my So You Think You Know Them series. I could talk about F.W. Murnau and the film Shadow of the Vampire and how it is not true to life and how vampires don't actually exist.
Oh yeah,
Spoilers.
aren't most like John Carpenter movies cult films at this point?
Um,
It depends.
probably. I think The Thing
Like
would be a cult film.
yeah, and
Yeah, no, definitely
Um,
Escape from New York's definitely got to be a cult.
Oh yeah,
status.
it's definitely a cult film, but I know The Thing didn't have as big an acclaim as it does now back in the
Yeah.
day. In fact, it's a Razzie nominated film. It was nominated for worst score when they used to have that, which is kind of bullshit because the score slaps. I mean,
Yeah.
that's Ennio Morricone you're putting on there. Like, what the fuck?
I would love to see that cult screening of just a bunch of people, just a bunch of people wrapped up in raw meat going to see the Thing. How do you dress up for a Thing showing? There's only one way, and it's disgusting. Trust me.
Yeah, apparently people didn't like how it was kind of people perceived it as nihilistic, and it didn't do well because it opened in the wake of E.T., so everyone was going to see the friendly alien movie and not the evil alien movie. Also, it opened the same day as Blade Runner, which is funny.
Oh, okay.
Imagine going to see The Thing and Blade Runner on the same day.
To say the least.
They think they thought the Thing was nihilistic. I mean, it didn't have a happy ending. I'll say that, but it's not it's not like the Thing was the fucking Joker going, "Why so serious?" It's like it's this intergalactic monster. It's not. It doesn't have. It doesn't have any political views or apolitical views or non-political views. It's a fucking monster.
I don't know, man. There was a recession. People were upset. They wanted to see the happy alien movie.
All right, are we ready to move on to Alex's topic?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
So, with the release of the new coming of age movie, E,
DiDi.
which is basically mid 90s, but in the 2000s, I came up with a list of some of my favorite coming of age movies, with 3 honorable mentions. The
All
first
right.
one is, I don't know if it counts as one, so that's why I'm
Is this an honorable mention? Are you doing the honorable mentions first and then doing the other ones?
I was just
Okay.
hesitant to put it on the list, because I wasn't sure if it would count. Super
Okay.
bad.
It's like
Kind of.
yeah. I think it's like you're on the cusp of adulthood and you're trying to figure out. So I
Yeah,
would
that
say
makes
it can
sense.
count as a coming of age because you're
I'm
going
I'm
from high school, you know?
I'm kind of happy that it's an honorable mention though. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't really put it on a ranking for
Yeah. The other
right.
one is Moonrise Kingdom.
All right. All right.
And then
This
the third And final one is The Edge of 17.
Okay.
So number 5, I got Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Number 4, I got The Breakfast Club.
All right.
Okay.
You got some.
Number
You got
3, I
some
got the
80s in there.
Number 3, I got The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Okay. Yeah.
Number 2, I got The Way Way Back.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
And then number 1, I got Lady Bird.
Mm. You know what's you know what's you know what's funny? Because
Yeah.
I like Lady Bird, but I like is Francis Ha more. And Francis Ha is kind of like coming of age, but for
Before
like
when you're
for
already an adult.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with you. That's yeah, that's so
It's
funny.
like it's a coming of age movie when you're already of age. uh
Yeah, no, Lady Bird is basically the transition from high school to college.
so is
But-
is the definition of coming of age the transition from adolescence to adulthood? Is that like the
Pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty much, or somewhere in between, where it's like the main character learns something about
life?
life or themselves, like,
Okay.
Yeah.
and it like it doesn't have to end with them as an adult, but it could, but it's about the sort of navigation through life.
But
Like,
they have to be a young person, right? Because I mean, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have to be at least like under the age of 18. Yeah.
okay, because like technically you don't stop learning life lessons when you become an adult. That's in fact that's when you start learning most of the life lessons is when you become an adult.
It's when you learn those
Yeah,
first lessons.
Okay.
Yeah, DiDi is basically his transition from middle school to high school.
I gotcha. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of expecting Boyhood to be on the list, but
I think Boyhood's just a tad overrated, but
it is. No, it is.
Right.
It is overrated. I agree with you.
I think
Well,
it's enjoyable, but I feel like there was such a really big hype around it and how it's made, which
it's enjoyable, but there was nothing
yeah.
special about it. Like there was
And
nothing.
it's like really long too.
Yeah. Like there was nothing to like differentiate it from like other similar movies, other than the fact that it uses the same actors. Like
Yeah, throughout the
when they're
course of the movie. Yeah.
yeah, it was kind of like a gimmick movie. Same with like that's the same thing with 1917. It's all hinging around like this one gimmick that it wants you to be impressed by.
Exactly.
Anyway, I was just gonna say that was a good list.
Not bad.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You guys might remember this. I think it was the first movie we saw Nicolas Cage in.
Yeah, I think it's the first film. Yeah,
I could be wrong, but
back when he was Nick Coppola.
yes, Nick Coppola. So
What are
yeah,
some of
that's
your
what.
favorites.
See, I feel like the thing is, I feel like coming of age has become such a broad category that it's like, I feel like
It's
it's
a
hard.
very popular genre because
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
we all grow, and the people who make movies were once children,
The
and
thing
I
is,
would assume, I would assume that they would be like, let me interpret the same feelings that I had when I was a child, which is probably why we see like a lot of films about growing up in the 80s. That's why we see those now, because a lot of people who grew up in the 80s are making films currently, and why you're also like gonna see like why we're starting to see more of people who grow up in the 90s and in the aughts.
Yeah, because
But
I
for the
mean,
last decade, it was like 80s. So now we're starting to see like
now we're starting to see the 90s creep
those
up.
90s and like early to mid 2000s
yeah,
starting.
Yeah, because
So
me and my parents just I just sat After Sun last weekend again for like the third time with my parents, and that's a movie that takes place in the 90s. Because
Oh
it
yeah.
doesn't explain it, that it takes place in the 90s, but you can just tell just by the vehicles that are in the movie and the camcorder.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So, and then you had mid 90s. Um,
Yeah, what
D-
else was there?
Which is why you have like a lot of classic films that take place like much earlier, like in
well, yeah, in like 80s.
the 20s or 30s or 40s. Like it just went on because the people related to either books or stuff that came out when they were young, and they were like, I want to portray my childhood like that, and then they did the films. Why you see like you'll always see like someone taking on like a sort of Tom Sawyer or Huckleberry Finn-esque thing like back in the day.
Uh-huh.
This is why back in the 30s the R Gang kids and the Little Rascals were so popular, you know?
The other thing with that genre is I don't think I've seen a movie in that genre that I didn't like. So
Hmm.
they're all at least enjoyable to watch. It's just some are better than others.
exactly.
What are a couple of your favorite coming age stories, Matt?
Well, I have to think off the top of my head.
I probably said all the ones Steve would have.
There's a good ones. I recently watched City of God. That film's a
Oh,
banger.
oh,
It's not
oh!
a happy coming of age, but he certainly learns something. But it's a great film.
I
Almost
mean,
Famous is really good. Stand by Me.
yeah, Stand
Uh,
by Me is Stand
Stand
by
by
Me. I
Me.
feel like is like that's like the gold standard everybody thinks of when you think of
Yeah,
coming of age.
just a bunch of boys just walking down the railroad tracks,
Yeah,
poking dead bodies. I don't know why I said bodies like there's more than one, but
mm.
spoilers, there's two. No, just giving fake spoilers for like 40-year-old movies.
Spoilers. It's a Holocaust film.
What a Kiki. Uh, Moonlight's great. I mentioned like Kiki and Miyazaki. Miyazaki has a lot of that's like a lot of his films that portray like a coming of age kind of thing. Spirited Away and recently Boy and the Heron, um, Cast in
Oh
the
boy, in the
Sky,
Heron, those are
Nausicaa.
great.
They're all like this sort of a young person coming of age having to deal with a lot of the trappings of the world in which they live in. Like, of course, a child nowadays won't have to live in the world of Nausicaa, of the Valley of the Wind, but it's about taking on big responsibilities. It's about self-realization.
Yeah, I mean, you guys mentioned some of my favorite ones.
Oh, To Kill a Mockingbird's good.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a
that's a
classic.
classic. Uh, one that I really like is that Taika Waititi film Boy. That's that's one of my favorite coming of age
Oh yeah,
films.
that's a good
Taika
one.
Waititi's done quite a few of those, a
Oh
couple
yeah,
of those.
he's also done Jojo Rabbit too.
Jojo Rabbit,
Speaking of the Holocaust,
Hunt for the Wilder People.
Hunt for the Wilder People, I didn't care for that much.
That's probably my least favorite of his. So
Uh, we mentioned Wes Anderson earlier. Rushmore, that's a great coming of
that's
age.
a
Rushmore,
great
yeah.
one. Yes. Did he make any other movies like that, or just Rushmore and Moonrise Kingdom?
I think
Just
Rushmore.
Rushmore, unless you also want to consider Royal Tenenbaums like Francis Ha about adults trying to come
Oh
of age.
yeah,
Actually, if we're doing that, I would say Bottle Rocket is kind of a coming
Oh,
of age story for
yes.
adults.
we should think of coming of age for adults as a genre and try to think of like movies like that.
That'd be cool.
Inside Llewyn Davis
All right. Oh, for coming of age,
for
like
adult.
not for adults, but for children.
Okay.
I like Persepolis. That's a really good one. That's a Film Viewers film, and it's based on a true story.
Did not know that.
Yeah, so it's about the director and her childhood in 70s Iran.
That's animated, isn't it?
Yeah, it's animated.
Yeah. That was didn't it win the animation Oscar when it came that year it came
No.
out? I know it was up for the Oscar.
It was up for it, but it didn't win. It was
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Ratatouille won.
Figures.
We have this
Michael
we have this dark dramatic film about a woman growing up in the Ayatollah age of Iran, or we have this versus this 3D animated movie about a cute little rat that wants to be a chef. Boy, I can't decide which one.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of goldmine we could talk about with the idea of just it's a huge genre, and
Yeah.
it's because it's all very relatable. Were you a
Yeah,
child,
exactly.
or were you born of some sort of vat? Were you a vat baby? In
Well,
which
even
case, this is probably not your genre.
Well, even if even if the circumstances in the movie are not relatable, I mean, we all can relate to growing as people, or at least wanting to change as people and grow up. So it's something that's universal in the human experience. For most people, there are people who just never grow up.
What you guys thought of this particular movie, but I feel like 8th grade was one that came out recently that I thought was relatable.
Yeah, I knew there was like an A24 one that was missing in that list. I've not seen that since it came out.
Yeah, that was made by Bo Burnham.
Yeah.
Who made the song about Jeff Bezos, by the way.
Jeffrey Bezos.
But yeah, it's such like a big genre. There's like so many like movies in it.
Oh, Cinema Paradiso. That's one of my favorites. That's also coming of age.
Oh, that's a great film.
Oh, love that.
I don't know if this counts. I just because we're on that topic of movies about adolescence. Grew up watching this movie. Oh, it was always on television. The Sandlot.
Oh,
yeah,
yes. Hell yeah.
See, I'm not I'm on the fence though about calling it coming of age.
I mean, you
really
could.
Yeah, well, it's really about just
it's really just about the group
bunch
of
of kids in the summer
and the hijinks that they get up to. There's really no lessons they learn, at least not major life lessons. It's just
right. No, I get what you mean.
So that's why I was kind of hesitant about bringing it up.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I was hesitant about putting Superbad on my list for that reason.
Mm.
Well done.
Well, I mean, we've now been recording.
I'm sure there's a bunch we can list off.
Yeah, but we'd be here for hours. This is such such a large topic. I mean, such a big genre.
I'm going through this list on Letterboxd. It's like 4,000 movies.
Oh my god!
What did you just look up? Coming of age movies?
Yeah, it's just a comprehensive list of coming of age films. It's the name of the list is Teenage Wasteland. It's probably it's a really popular list.
That's a good name, though.
I love that name.
I'm looking at this one. The first movie on this list is Scott Pilgrim.
He's an adult in that film, though. The whole joke is that he's dating a teenager.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love, Simon. Shithouse.
Oh, Shithouse.
Classic.
Juno. Everybody wants some.
Everybody wants some's about college kids.
That's what I'm
They're
saying.
They're already adults. They're already of age.
What else?
They're already drinking beer and banging bitches. Like that's not.
What, you
coming
didn't
of
do
age.
that when you were 15? No, I'm just kidding.
Before Sunrise, I don't really think that counts because that's more
No, they're adults, and that's a romance film.
So why is it in the list? Holy shit!
I don't know. None of us made this list that you were looking at.
Holy shit, Matt! Quickly, you need to write an article ridiculing this list, saying how it's not coming of age.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Well, let's see.
Matt writes.
Get fucking Simon Dillon from Medium to do that. I'm not doing that.
Well, I'll just rapid fire through a few more of these, and then we'll call it. Spectacular Now, Kings of Summer, Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl.
Yes.
Yeah, Kings of Summer. That's another film viewers film.
Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. That's a newer one.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's from the director of The Edge of 17.
Oh, okay. So it might
Yeah.
be good. Well, I mean, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've watched it a few times.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Dope.
Yeah, dope.
The Florida Project, even though she's only
like
like 6.
The kids don't really learn anything. And
No, they don't.
To be honest, the mom really doesn't either. I don't know about,
I know, right?
I don't know about that one.
That's why I'm like, wait, why is this here?
It's about.
It's of an
It's
age.
more about escapism, which is kind of like
true.
not growing up.
Yeah.
I didn't really think of it that way until you said it. So, a couple of these are about like unplanned pregnancies.
Juno.
Yep, Juno. There's this newer one called Unpregnant. Plan B. This list kind of sucks. So,
Yeah.
Well,
So we can
don't.
wrap.
At least
we
don't don't shout out the name to this list. So that
Oh,
way,
no, I won't.
if someone's like, yeah, let's go and tell off these people. No, I don't know if we have that sort of reach yet.
Yeah.
No.
But we will leave a link of the articles that Matt read in the description.
In the description down below.
Right, Alex?
Well, if you send them to me, I will.
Okay. Now with that, I think that's a good place to wrap,
Yeah,
right?
I think we're good.
Yeah. Adios,
Yeah, we got-
everyone.
Yeah. Bye-bye.